Welcome. Today I am doing a question answer video I put out on my community tab here on YouTube and also on my Instagram, asking for some questions about homeschooling, really I guess anything in general, but I only got less than a handful of questions, but I feel like they're probably important questions. So I'm going to do my best in giving you some answers and hopefully encouragement. So stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, Learning with Boys. I am a homeschool mom. I have 4 boys and we are on our 17th year of homeschooling. I do have another senior and a 7th grader this school year, and I sort of decided to do the question answer because I am entering my 3rd year into this YouTube journey with you all, and I've had lots of new subscribers and I do appreciate that. You have been an encouragement to me and I hope I can be an encouragement to you all. So I do want to say we are a Christian homeschool family. We do have a Christian worldview. We are eclectic in our curriculum, and I have shared a lot of curriculum even over the last few years. But we do love living books. I do feel like we do enjoy the Charlotte Mason. Like we do narration, the curriculum we use right now, and things like that. So, all right, let's get started with the question answer. Some high school questions, questions about technology, and a question about just encouraging the next group behind me. So, all right. My first question is, I would love to learn more about preparing high school transcripts and GPAs. Thanks. And then there was another comment under that from somebody also saying, I'm so lost on this. So now I'm going to go ahead and read something to you real quick. My glasses on. My transcripts changed a lot over the high school years. The change was so dramatic, it's difficult to even recognize some of the classes. This was because I learned more about transcripts each year. I encourage you to keep listening to conversations about transcripts and continue your own education. Read more every year. Take classes at conventions and online. As things change and my knowledge about transcripts changed, so did my transcript. Stay up to date on your own transcript. It's not over until it's over, and until then, it's just a work in progress. And then she has a little note here. Transcripts can be changed and modified until they are submitted to a college. From then on, you can only add to the transcript. So, this is from Lee Benz at the home. She's the home scholar, and her book, Setting the Record Straight: How to Craft Homeschool Transcripts and Course Descriptions for College Admission and Scholarships. So I want to share this with you, and I have some thoughts about transcripts, and you also ask about GPAs. Now, for me, and don't shut me off yet, I want to tell you my thoughts about this because I do feel like it's important. We are in a state where I have to be under an umbrella, and they take care of my transcript. I do have to do the grades. I have to do my own course descriptions. I have to sign up my boys for any tests like ACT or SAT. That's all my responsibility, but they do take care of my transcript. So I am thankful for that. But the reason I have this book, and I know a lot about Lee Benz, is because before I understood that that's how it was in my state, I did a lot of research myself. And she is just a wealth of information. She has a lot of free webinars, and I actually follow her over on Instagram where those are posted if they're going on, if she has specials. So she does have a paid program that you can join. It's been a long time since I've looked a lot into that. I think I did it the first year, but then I really didn't need it after that. She also has some of these books. These are called coffee break books. Planning High School is one of them. I want to say she has like 10, 12 of them on every subject. She probably will have books that from this, like broken down into smaller bites, which is nice. She also, I'm not sure if she has books on these, and I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just telling you what I feel like is important when you are at this stage of really wanting to understand this information, is looking to someone that's their job, is to help you through this. And so in this book, she also has information about GPA, about calculating credit value, determining high school credits, calculating grade point average, and she even gives like templates for the transcripts. She really goes in great depth in this particular book. Also, I'm not sure if these smaller books, I feel like she has smaller books individually on like 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. At the time, because remember this was several years ago, my oldest is 22, so when he was like in 7th, 8th grade, and I was researching this out, I remember printing off some information she had that would be like what you should know or have done in 9th or by the end of 9th grade and 10th grade and 11th grade. And she'll talk about, well, you should take this test by this time, and you should have already been applied and looking at colleges by this time. Now, I understand, you know, maybe you're watching this and you're like, my kid's already in 11th grade. She still can help you. She can. I've heard testimonies, I've read testimonies for how she can help you get it all brought together. So now she does mention the course descriptions in here, just your record keeping, and that is so important. Even if you don't get it all down in a transcript form, having as much saved and written down as possible would be helpful when it comes time to do that. So I really encourage you to think about, I know it's an investment, but to think about talking to someone like Lee Binns from Homeschooler. HSLDA will probably have something very similar for those that are in high school. And maybe you know somebody, if you're watching this, maybe you know somebody that does this, and you can link them below to be helpful. This is just someone that I found, and I really appreciate her and her husband's testimony. I have heard her talk, and I enjoy them as a person also, and I've enjoyed all their books. They've been so helpful. So I want to mention that, and I know I'm not showing you how to do a transcript, and I know there's lots of YouTube channels, moms out there that have gone definitely more in depth and also can be helpful. But if you are just like, okay, I just really need someone to hold my hand and carry me through this, you may have to invest in paying for somebody. Now, and that's what I did that one year. And if I did not have to be under an umbrella, which I already have to pay for them to do my transcript, then I would have done this. So, and that sort of brings me to the next question. I would like to hear how and if you got scholarships for your boys that have or will be graduating. Her oldest is in 10th, not sure where to start. Okay, so there was some information in that book, and also just from my own knowledge, I know the PSAT has to be taken in the fall of 10th grade. I want to say my oldest missed that because I didn't realize that myself, and I think he would probably have been the only one that would have made an effort or tried to take it. I do think it is more of like a merit type scholarship, like very academic. So also, I want to say that you would want to know what college they're going to and really researching out that college and seeing what scholarships they even offer. But again, if I was needing my sons to be applying for scholarship, I definitely would be talking to someone like Lee or HSLDA or the college themselves to see what I need to do. My boys have not applied for any because they go to a Christian college. So they have taken dual credits, but that is as far as they've gone. Another thing also that she talks about in here is CLEP and AP, which I know is not scholarships, but it helps you get some of your credits in before college, which helps. So I'm just telling you my answers. I wish I had be able to sit here and tell you detail. I know there are some homeschool moms who have gone through all this and their kids have gotten scholarships. Even through our Christian college, there are a few scholarships they could get, but it's not going to be like a university or anything like that. So I wanted to give you that answer. I wish I had more information for you. So, but if I needed those answers, I would be reaching out to someone that professionally could help hold my hand and walk me through. So, okay, the next question is, how do you handle technology boundaries with your boys? So, this is a hard question. I feel like we have not always been perfect with this, but we were just learning. Technology was coming out as our boys were younger, but we knew that it wasn't something we wanted to throw them into. We actually held back a long time, especially with the phones. Now, we did have a computer, and that was usually set up in the living room area where you could, anybody that walked in could see what was going on from the kitchen, the dining room, the living room. And that is where we kept that. That was just used for school. And later on, my boys, as their interest grew and they went into middle school and high school, I would let them watch YouTube videos related to whatever they might be interested in. They, of course, we've learned to shop on Amazon. We've learned to shop on eBay also. But I feel like I'm thankful that it was right there, and I was sort of guiding them and helping them understand the process. So they are, especially my two older boys, are very techy. They went beyond and past me, now at the point where they're showing and teaching us stuff. So, but with the phones, they really didn't get phones until they got jobs and had to pay for them themselves. And they were iPhones. So we were able, even though they bought them, it was just in agreement that we would have them at night. We were able to, even in general, we had a code and able to lock everything. They didn't have social media on the phones. They probably had a few games on their phones, and it was just nice that they were driving and they had the phone with them, and we were able to see where they were at. So that is sort of how we have done that to this point. Now, my two older ones are adults now. They did, I didn't even have social media all those years until my oldest was a senior in high school. That is when I first got Facebook and Instagram. Of course, we all had used YouTube, but I knew at some point they were going to want to know. So I said, let's wait until your senior year, and then when you do it, sign me up too. And I remember he came on the couch and he was showing me, I'm ready to do this, Mom. I'm like, okay, go ahead. So, and really that was like halfway through his senior year that we did that. So it was 2020. And the same for my second one. And then right now, my senior now doesn't have any social media. He does have his iPhone, which is, again, it's locked down. He puts it in my room at night. He might have a game or two on there. He does have apps like Audible. He's able to listen to books. He usually asks me how to get those downloaded. He doesn't even have YouTube on his phone. It's on his computer. He does have a laptop because he is taking dual credits this school year, and all my boys have purchased their own laptops. So that is sort of how it has worked for us. I'm hoping I'm not leaving anything out. Now, talking about gaming, let me mention that also. When they're on their phones, of course, that was limited and really obviously was not available to them until they were in high school on their phones. Now, when they were little, my dad bought them the Wii game, and we still have the original. And that was more of like for a rainy day, because games were like a privilege at that time. This was many years ago when they were younger. Now, my 12-year-old now, he does not have a phone, and I don't plan on him getting one anytime soon. He does play Wii sometimes. He also does play a game on the computer with his brother. Like, they don't play like talking to each other. It's just sort of their time out. And his brother will sit down here with him while he's on the computer, and they both play the same game. I don't know. So, and it's more like a tank, something with tanks. So that is what my 12-year-old does sometimes. Now, there was a time where one of my boys was playing a game on the computer with a friend, like an online thing, but it was a family friend that we knew, and we usually knew when the boys were playing. But he hasn't done that in several years now that he's older. So, all right, I do want to share with you that I did do a video about some books that I read that had to do with technology, and one of them was Technologic by Lee Benz. I didn't know she even had a book like this. I also read something that I think it was like Breaking Up with Your Phone. I'll link the video below that had to do with me just talking about some things that I went through just to take a break. And I do feel like, even as the parents, that we have to be setting the tone and the example. And I tell you, it's hard. Let me know. Let me know if it's hard. So especially for me now, I'm doing a job that I am having to communicate with a lot of different people. And I'm also doing this channel and have an Instagram account that is relatable to that. So I do have to put the phone away, leave it in my bedroom, and walk away. So I think it's so important that you have time with your family, with your kids, without those phones. And as my boys have gotten older, that has gotten harder to do. So definitely, if you have younger kids, I encourage you to really just look at a book like this, something that has to talk about technology. And with kids, I feel like it's so important to hold that off as long as possible with children, especially little ones, even watching the TV. So, but I did want to share that with you. Now, I did have one more question, and that was, I would love your thoughts on younger homeschoolers and what you would tell them. What are we doing too much of? What are we not doing enough? What would you say to encourage us for the long mission of discipling our children? Thank you. All right. This was really humbling that I'm even being asked this question. You don't realize that you're in this season, and at a season I'm hoping to encourage, but also encourage young moms coming through. And just the subject matter I just talked about, sometimes that could be something we're doing too much of, and that would be being on our phone, being on the computer, and not taking enough time with our kids, doing activities, actually going outside with your kids. I don't feel like parents do enough of that. My boys spent a lot of time outside, but when I look back, I was out there a lot too. Even if I was just taking a book, I was able to sit and they could say, "Mom, look at this," and I was there. So being a part of what they're doing, there are times I'm inside cooking and cleaning and thankful they have each other and they're outside building something. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you have to be outside the whole time they're out there. Depending on the age and the situation you're in. But, I would even play catch and ball when they were little with them. So, and those are sweet memories for me. And I enjoyed those times together. And so I would definitely say, maybe I feel like for younger homeschool generation that maybe the outside time is not enough because of technology. Our kids, we think, well, if they've done their work and they've earned time on the computer or time on the iPad or time on, whatever. And it really should be like, you can go outside as soon as you're done with school, because that's what my son's usually asking. Can I go outside now? Can I go outside now? Which is great. And I am so thankful for that. And I really just want to encourage you. That's why I think not introducing all that screen stuff as long as possible. And it's hard. It is hard in today's time. I think it sounds like an easy thing to say, but just the time investment into your children is so important. And another thing also is just, definitely discipling your children, but that's all done by example. And I think parents forget that. We want to make sure our kids are doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. But are they actually seeing us do what we're expecting them to do? Whether it read our Bible and praying. And that's one thing I feel like all of us moms could do more of. I need to do more of it. And that is praying for our children, praying for our family, praying with them about specific needs. We have needs at our church. We have family needs that we need to be praying for, and just seeing that we have a heart for others, being positive in front of our kids and not always negative. There's so many times that we can catch ourselves wanting to say something and we need to stop, because if it's not going to encourage them, it's like even when you're talking to them and disciplining them, I've always been told to say something positive before you have to tell them and talk to them negatively, because you want to encourage them that you love them and that that they could do better, but you need to make it clear what they've done wrong and use scripture. So I hope that was helpful. I do appreciate this opportunity to answer these few questions, and I appreciate if you have been watching. And if you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe and join us. I do a lot of homeschool content, sharing curriculum and past or present experiences, books we've been reading. We do love books here. All right, I do appreciate you all watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.